Hello. Testing, 1, 2, 3. There we are. What is up, guys? How's it going? Missed you all last week. Sorry. We were doing some pretty heavy testing for Portland. I especially, because I had some FOMO from not going to Osaka. So I was trying my best to do well for Portland. Unfortunately, did not do too hot, but we're going to go over that today. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. How's everyone doing? Thank you all for joining me today. Yeah, it feels good to be back streaming. The week off was actually really nice too. Like, even though we were practicing so hard, it felt really nice to just relax for a little bit. Although I do love streaming and talking to you guys. It's always fun to rest once in a while too. But hopefully everyone's doing all right. Today we're gonna be going over just my time in Portland, a little bit of story time. I know Majin always drops those beautiful story times, but just going over my own personal story from Portland. A lot of good, fun laughs. A lot of success, actually, for the team as well. And then kind of go over the Dash deck list that I took over in Portland. Did not, unfortunately, do very well, but we're going to go over that and talk about like matchups and what I played against in Portland. And it should be super fun. It was a super fun time playing and testing out this Dash list, so I'm super excited to show you guys. Nicholas, what's up? Doing all right? That's good to hear, man. Good to hear. Thank you for joining, Nicholas, for the stream tonight. Hopefully, we can go over some pretty cool Dash stuff. We'll probably get some games in later on too to see how it goes. Vice versa. I thought you were on the Zen deck. Yeah. I know. All of Friday, I played Zen just to like see if I want to do a last minute swap to Zen, because I thought he's actually really well placed into the meta. But went with my heart, my soul. I've been playing mech all year long, so I was like, you know, post high octane too. I wanted to prove that she's still on the map. And although I didn't, another gentleman was able to. Not just say it was a psyop. I wish I could say it was a psyop, because if I said it was a psyop, if I did really well, then it'd be a psyop. But it actually was pretty detrimental, because I think if I played Zen, I would have done a little bit better. So not necessarily a psyop, but congratulations to Thaminda. Thaminda took top 8 at Calling Portland with a Dash deck list. That Dash deck list that's pretty different from mine. So I'm excited to show like kind of how different our decks are, and kind of show everyone, you know, what iterations of Dash we can still do post Portland as well. But to kind of get into it, we'll just start off with a bit of a story time from Portland here. So Portland, I missed out on Osaka. Why did the Dodgers win the World Series? Bro, get over it, bro. It's old news. The Dodgers. Congrats to the Dodgers once more. Congrats to Shohei Ohtani for winning the World Series. For all the Dodgers fans out there, just enjoy it while it lasts, you know. That's how I felt. That's how all the Angels fans felt in 2002. Enjoy it while it lasts, man. It can be short-lived. So for Portland, I didn't go to Osaka. So I wanted to kind of get in early to hang out. I wish I could have gone a little bit earlier, actually. If I went in just a bit earlier, I could have like went sightseeing, could have explored like, you know, all the beautiful nature in Portland a little bit better. But I came out on Friday morning, so a whole day before the calling. But I was able to play in a bunch of side events. Shout out to not a sponsor, Alaska Airlines. You guys did amazing. Nothing wrong with my flight whatsoever. Beautiful seats, not uncomfortable at all. And I personally love it when the venue is in the same. The event venue is in the same hotel that you stay at. So shout out to Fab Foundry for hooking that up. That was pretty sweet. It was just like go up the elevator to my room, come back down to, you know, play in any event I want, hang out with friends. It was super cool, and it was a really well run event. So super big shout out to Fab Foundry for that. That was a beautiful event. Yeah. Kind of got in on Friday, like Vice Versa says, it was a psyop. I played in a bunch of side events because I had a bunch of extra tickets. I played in the Lightning Press, Classic Constructed. I played in some other CC side events, and I played Zen for every single game. I was just like, Zen, so I brought with me Aurora, Dash, and Zen. And I had the least amount of experience on Zen, but I really thought that he was one of the best picks in the meta right now. So I ended up practicing Zen all Friday to see if I could last minute swap over, if I felt comfortable, if I like kind of knew the play lines. Obviously, you know, the chase the tail play line is always going to be the best one, but he's a very modal hero where you can kind of choose what you want very well, like depending on hand context and whatever. So played him all Friday. I think I got like 10 games in. Hey Adrian, how's it going, man? Long time no see, long time no talk too, man. Thank you for stopping by on the stream. Just going over my weekend in Portland, then we'll go over some Dash stuff later on too. So I played about, I think, I played like 3 practice games with Zen with some friends, and then I also played 8 actual games with Zen from side events, and they went pretty well. Like I won most of them. I don't remember like the exact record, but it flowed pretty well. I had a list pretty similar to the Runaways list that they have with, you know, some of their spicy cards like Flex Claws. I had a list similar to that, not exactly similar, but it felt really good to play, and it made it really hard to kind of go up to the hotel room the night after, or the night before the calling, and just decide what I want to play. I was just sitting there with my deck list in my hand. I'm like, dude, like I thought I was for sure gonna play Dash, but now I'm like having second thoughts because I had just full foiled out my Aurora deck, and I was ready to play that as well, and my Zen deck felt really good. So I was like, what do I play? So I followed my gut and my heart instinct, and I played Dash IO. Also on Friday, shout out to Dennis, who's a local of mine. He struggles kind of like in and out of Flesh and Blood, I would say. Like he's been a long time community pioneer for us, and he's been recently playing a lot of One Piece, so I always love it when he comes out to play Flesh and Blood. And he won the Gold Foil Commoner event on Chain, and he was just jumping with joy. I remember like after every side event I would run over to see how he's doing in that event. And in the very last time I ran over, he had already won the finals, and he was like spreading out his cards to do like a deck picture so that the Dice Commando guys wanted to take a picture, and then also the event staff also wanted to see like what he ran and whatnot. And he like laid everything out, and then he opened his gold foil once they gave it to him, and it was Goliath Gauntlet. So he's just like slotted the Goliath Gauntlet into the deck, where his like normal non-foil Goliath Gauntlet would be. And then he like asked them to retake the picture again. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, shout out to him. Took him some convincing actually. He was like, I'm not gonna play the Battle Hardened I'm not gonna play the Battle Hardened on Sunday. Like I'm too lazy. And I'm like, bro, you literally won the entire side event. Like you got to now. So we were enough people convinced him to play on Sunday, so that was good. But going into the calling, so I lock in Dash IO for the calling, and I'm like, okay, written everything down on my deck list, everything's ready to go, and I'm gonna boost. So I sit down for round 1 of the calling, and I sit down against a new. So already not a great matchup, probably the worst matchup for Dash. But then again, like if I played any other deck that I brought, it probably still is a bad matchup. But Dasho, especially because you can get fatigued so easily, I had to really push really hard to kind of get over the sort of like defensive slash like what's it called? The sort of defensive tools that New has, as well as her disruptive tools. Should have played Vincent, man. That actually would have not been a bad idea. I think my matchups, considering what I know now, I actually think I would have done pretty well if I played Riptide as well. But so going into round 1, I played against a new, and they just blocked everything out perfectly. They had every Sink Below, every Fate Foreseen, perfect blocking. It was really well played by my opponent there. And I just basically get fatigued. I have like 5 cards left in the deck, but they swing too much damage, and I just can't boost and also kill. I can't boost to kill them and also give up cards to block, so I just had to concede there basically. Just couldn't find my max V. So the whole deck, we'll kind of get into it later. The whole deck, but my whole deck was kind of revolving around maximum velocity. I'll kind of explain the philosophy behind that. Effing boost, yeah, it's true. I tried to fucking boost and I boosted way too hard. All my deck was gone. I'll explain the philosophy behind that when we go over the deck list. It's going to be a little bit easier to see. But I basically built the deck seeing that, and this weekend I could not find max Vs for the life of me, so it was a little bit of a tougher tournament. Second game, I sit down. Oh, actually, I forgot about the first time. So, my opponent wins, and I'm like, good game, man. Like, well played. Everything, we're like exchanging, like, you know, exchanging like information and conversations and stuff like that, and getting to know where he's from. And he just like says, dang, I kind of wish I didn't win. I was like, dude, why not? Like, why do you not want to win? He says that he's sad because he can't play the 10 a.m. commoner event anymore, and that he really wanted to play the battle hardened commoner. And it was really disappointing for him because he now has to keep going and playing CC. So that was a surprise to hear. I think he actually ended up doing pretty well in the calling too, like still top 32. So I'm glad he did not play commoner because he did very well for himself. Game 2, I run into another mech. It's a mech mirror. I sit down and I'm like, all right, I just got fatigued, you know, like let's have another good game, see if it's another fatigue matchup. And I'd run into Teklovossin, and I think it's like literally the only Teklovossin in the entire room. I get them down to I think like 3 or 4, but they just have enough armor to block out my last max V turn. So I got fatigued again. So I'm 0-2 now, pretty much fatigued. I have to win out to even have a chance, not even like win, but have a chance at day 2. So I have to win out. So trying to keep my mental at an all-time high. You know, it's super easy to tilt if you're like down 0-2 or if your deck's not cooperating. But I think I'm doing pretty well with it. Just like went down to get a coffee because I just needed like a little pick-me-up. And then round 3, I sit down and I'm like, all right, what are we on? Are we going to be blocking? And they say Azalea. And I'm like, okay, at least it's not a blocking matchup. But it's also one of my worst matchups again. With Red in the Ledger stacking and all these on hits to prevent me from having go again, basically. And surprisingly, I got there. I chose to go first, you know, to not allow for dominate to happen. And I start off with my 0-3 boost, and they don't block, so that's like already a telltale sign that they have some buffs and probably like a Red in the Ledger they want to keep. On the second boost, they block with 2 buffs for 4, so I'm like, okay, now for sure you're trying to protect your Red in the Ledger, the arrow you want to swing with, probably Remorseless as well. So I pulse wave boost the last one, and it's Red in the Ledger, and I was able to grab the Red in the Ledger. So they have no arrows now in their hand. They just have they actually have nothing in their hand because they block with 3 buffs and actually no, they block with 2 buffs, Red in the Ledger, and they have a Rain Razors that they elected to keep rather than play out. So I was able to do that, and I found Cerebellum off the top, so I was able to Cerebellum in and also draw a card to end with an Arsenal as well. So that was pretty good. Pretty good turn. After that, they drew up, and they had no arrows in hands, but they had a take aim. So what they did was they take aim, opted 1 off Crossbone, couldn't find a buff on top, bottomed it, and then blind Azalea into another buff. So they literally could not attack me at all. So they ended up just passing, and that was just way too slow to kind of come out the gate. I find all my boom grenades, I find all my max Vs. I think the game was over in like 2 turns after that. They just couldn't hit me hard enough. I think the one really big arrow they shot at me was drill shot, and it just didn't have the necessary effects to kind of stop what I was doing. So I had a really good game then, and it kind of popped off there. So ended up winning that one, which is super good. So 1-2 now, kind of starting my Pablo Pintor straight back up. I'm super excited to keep playing. I think the mental reset was super good. And then the next game I play against Florian. Florian, another defensive deck. I wouldn't say it's super unfavored, but he's a very defensive deck, and you kind of have to line up all your damage to be able to get past it. And yet again, I just like could not find my max Vs early. With the deck kind of just straight boosting without max V, I feel like the damage is so low that Florian can block so efficiently, and with like Felling of the Crown, Plow under, it's really annoying to try to keep like really big hands to be able to attack with. In the very last turn, I boost twice with Twin Drive, and then I boost one more time with, I think, 0 to 60 or Fast and Furious. And then I had already set up a boom grenade, 3 boom grenades for the max V turn. So I ended with max V, and he was able to block everything out with popping his chest. That gives him 2 embodiments because he's bloomed now. So he blocked 5 on Twin Drive. He blocked 5 on what do you call it? Fast and Furious. And then he was able to block 10 with his his Grasp of the Arknight, and 2 cards that block for 4 and 5. So it was pretty insane. I just could not get there in the end. If that max V or any attack on that turn hits, he's pretty much dead because of the boom grenades. But unfortunately, it just didn't go my way. I'm now 1-3, so I'm already kind of thinking about it. I'm already kind of thinking about dropping. Sorry, I just saw like news on my phone that Blake Snell signed with the Los Angeles team, and I thought it was the Angels, but it looks like it's the Dodgers. So speaking of Dodgers news, congrats, you got another legendary pitcher, Blake Snell. But yeah, I mean, 1-3, just decided to drop there. Didn't really want to keep playing because I wanted to kind of test out different decks, and then side events were coming up, and I wanted to try out like my full Aurora deck that I made, and then also like Zen. I actually dropped, and then I undropped because I was like, oh, there's not really any good side events that I wanted to play, but I didn't see one that started at like, I think like 2:30 or 3 or something, and it I think it was another CC event double ticket. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even see the event. So I actually ended up undropping, and then finally playing that CC event. And I think I played Dasho again in that one, just because I like sat down for my opponent and I was like, hey man, don't tell me what you're playing yet because I'm having like a deck crisis, and I ended up choosing Dash again because I wanted to kind of prove to myself that I made the correct choice. I did really well in that side event, and the deck lined up a little bit more beautifully in those side events there, but unfortunately didn't do well in the calling. Shout out to Colin, who ended up being the only member of the Age Pro team that went to top 32. He just made it. He was the 32nd player in the standings, so congrats to Colin for playing Kasai, bringing Kasai to like every event, just dominating. It's pretty fun to see, and there was some pretty good highlights for that, but I'll let him talk about his tournament run on a future stream that he's going to host. But yeah, congrats to him. And then after that, we just kind of chilled all day. Didn't really do much. Got to hang out with a lot of people, see a lot of different friends that I, don't usually see because they're not in SoCal. So that was super cool. Kasai is goated with the sauce. Yeah, Kasai is definitely goated. She's like, I play against Colin all the time, and I don't know how he makes that deck look so good. Like from a number standpoint, the deck's okay, I guess. Like just seeing all the numbers, like you shouldn't be losing to Kasai, I feel like, when I look at the cards and stuff, but like, it just feels like he's so incrementally good, Colin, at the game, that you just end up like slowly losing your grip on the game, and you're like, whoa, I'm down 7 life now, 10 life now, just because I've not been blocking. He's been blocking super efficiently. So yeah, Colin, not only Kasai goated, Colin is goated. And we just hang out. We played like a bunch of cockroach poker to end the night. It was super fun. Just seeing everybody like Brody, Naib, a bunch of the NorCal guys, Canadian guys as well. So it's a lot of fun seeing everybody. We were thinking about food, and I was walking back to the venue from the bathroom, and I saw someone with a Burgerville. So it's called this place called Burgerville. It's its own chain. I saw a person with a Burgerville bag, and I was like, what is that? Like, can I, do you guys mind if I ask where that is? And they're like, oh, dude, it's like right around the block. They got like $2 burgers right now. And I was like, $2? I'm like, yeah, it's like National Burger Day or something. So I like run back to the team, and they're like all playing their side events and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, there's like $2 burgers at this, supposedly at this place. I look it up. There's nothing online that says anything about $2 burgers. So I'm like, these guys are trolling me. But we end up going to that place anyway because it's close by. And they actually have $2 burgers. Like, it's not even like just like grilled cheese sandwiches or something. They're actual burgers with like meat. And I guess it's just like their original cheeseburger, but they marked it down to that price because it was National Burger Day. So I went up to the counter when we ended up going, and I was like, how many can we get? And she was like, oh, you can get, it's limit 10 per person. But I was just so intimidated by the fact that you could buy 10 burgers for $20. I don't know why. I was just like, I'll just get 5. So I like wimped out of getting 5 extra burgers for $2 each. It was such a good deal, but I passed up on it. I ended up finishing everything. It was pretty good, not bad. The other 2 times we ate at Red Robin. So that was really good. Like I'm a huge advocate for Chili's. Chili's is amazing. Not a sponsor, by the way. But these Red Robin journeys that we took over the weekend, that was fire. Like they were, whoever the chef is at that Portland Whataburger. Jesus, sorry, I didn't mean to slip up, guys. I swear I hate Whataburger. But that at that Portland Red Robin, it was insane. Like they were cooking for real. Both physically, both like the meme and actually cooking. They were just, it was so good. The bottomless sides are always good. The bottomless drinks are always good. Yeah, it was just a really good time food wise. Super fun. And then Sunday we decided to play the Battle Hardened. Everyone was like thinking about either playing Battle Hardened or side events. And I elected to play Battle Hardened because I just love playing in rated events. Like it's super fun to compete, in my opinion. So I always love competing. I ended up, I had my Icelander deck built and ready. Like I brought it with me to Portland, and I was just having last minute like regrets about playing Icelander. I was like, oh my gosh, it loses to Dash. It's too slow. It's not as good as I thought it would be. Chain destroys it. These are all thoughts I had in my head, but like I think Dennis was just like rolling me in practice or something. But I decided to take Ira instead. I borrowed my teammate Moises' deck, Ira. And I had thought that all the cards were legal in there. But I was doing like a last minute count because some of them were like rares, but they've like caught, like, you know how Fiendo's Fighting Spirit used to be a rare, but now it's a common because it got reprinted down in Rosetta. I had the same thoughts with like Flex Claws and all these like cards that were rares, but they like got reprinted into a common. And I was going over the deck list to make sure everything was legal, and like with literally 5 minutes left, or like the event's close to starting, I find out that Rushing River is like only a rare. It's not a common. It hasn't been reprinted. It's only a rare, or so I believe still to this day. So I was just like, whoa, my deck is straight up not legal for this Battle Hardened. So I run over to Moises because I see him. And I'm like, dude, do you have any other blue that I can play that's a 0 cost? Like, do you have, like, Minnowism? Do you have Lunging Press? Scar for a Scar? Like, anything that's a 0 for 2 or, like, any sort of attack that gets me value. I just need something to pitch for my Kodachis. And we luckily scrounge up a Minnowism and a, like, Lunging Press. So I'm able to play a legal deck. So that was pretty funny. Like, I almost got DQ'd right away. I actually got deck checked round 3 when I was playing against an Enigma. So super clutch way to kind of fix the deck right there. If they didn't have those 0 costs, I was so down bad. I was about to take the Brothers in Arms. I know they're not like 0 cost pitches, but I was about to take the Brothers in Arms from my Icelander deck and just throw them into my Ira deck just so that I have a legal deck, and I would just be like playing with like 50 cards basically because I would never run Brothers in Arms blue. But yeah, we get into the Battle Hardened. I started off 2-0. I actually played on stream against a Dice Commando player. His name was Kevin. Really nice guy. He actually grew up in SoCal and moved to Portland. So really nice talking to him. We played Ira versus Dash. The game went extremely in my favor, so I was lucky enough to win that one. But it was super cool. And then I lost to this was like a new format for me, Commoner. I had never played it before, like this week basically. And I played against Enigma next. It was like a Wounded Bull Reality Refractor list, and it was like really good value because it was just block with 2 cards, 3 cards even, and swing a Spectral for 8. So it was just insanely good value. We basically both went to 0 cards in deck, but he was able to fatigue me out while he was swinging his Spectral Shield for 8 still. Kevin is such a goated local, such a positive person in our community. That Kevin guy was dope. Yeah, Kevin's awesome, man. If you guys are ever in Portland, when you go to locals, Kevin, I think his last name. I don't want to say his last name just in case, but Kevin is awesome. He's such a good advocate for the game. He loves Flesh and Blood, and he's just a really big advocate for Commoner as well. So he's just a super chill guy. I saw him a couple times throughout the week as well, and said hi again. But it was really nice playing him. It was super fun. But yeah, Ira, I lost to Enigma, and then I played Dash, who I beat in the previous round 2, and I unfortunately lost that one. I think like I made them go first because I wanted to have the tempo turn, and they pushed turn 0 with like breaking Goliath Gauntlet and their Vest of the First Fist after their first attack hit, and they did like 6 damage over all my blocks. And then when I drew up 3 blues and a D-react, so I was just like, oh, well, my turn sucks. I can't really do any damage. No, actually, I didn't even draw the D-react. I drew 3 blues and a Key Unleash, and I literally couldn't like activate my hand at all unless I want to give up my equipment that I hadn't blocked with yet because I wanted to save it. In hindsight, I probably should have just blocked with it just in case I drew Key Unleashed. But hindsight is definitely 2020 right there. So I ended up going X2. Knew I was out of the battle hardened, so I ended up dropping to play more side events and just have fun. Really disappointed on how my performance ended up being. I thought I practiced really well and prepared really well. It just didn't go my way, and that's okay. It's like a really harsh reality sometimes. Like when you're feeling really good into a tournament and just things don't go your way, it's really hard to kind of accept that fact, but you just have to. Like it's a card game, you know, like there's RNG all the time and not everything goes your way. Especially for me this weekend. So hoping to do better at the next one I go to. I think the next one I'm going to attend I'm traveling for, at least. DOB like that sometimes. Yeah, sometimes you just don't find those boom grenades on top. But I think the next one I'm going to travel for is unfortunately not Chicago, but it's going to be, I think, Memphis. The double calling in Memphis. That one should be cool. I think it's going to be CC first, and then the second one is going to be the sealed calling. So there's 2 call-ins that day, or that weekend, which is insane. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit up that one. It's going to be like the end of January, I think. So that one should be fun. But overall, really fun weekend. Had a great time with the boys. It's just, I think that's a super underrated part of like playing the game and traveling. To play the game is seeing all your friends that you normally don't see, as well as the friends that you normally do see, and then seeing them in this new environment and hanging out. It's kind of like locals, like going to locals, but instead of it being like a 4-hour event, it's like a whole weekend, you know, and it's just like free reign to do whatever you guys want, and just have a ton of fun. So awesome weekend. Couldn't ask for a better like experience other than the play, but it was super fun meeting everyone. I gave like a bunch of people some fucking boost sleeves that I have. I'm not sure if anyone saw me play with them over the weekend, but it's basically a picture of a Honda Pilot, and it says fucking boost under. Obviously the fuck is censored, and I handed it out to a bunch of Dash.io players, a bunch of mech players. There was one kid that in hindsight I probably shouldn't have handed him one, but there was a kid that was sitting next to me. I was like, hey, no pressure, if you want it you can grab it, if not you can just leave it there, I'll grab it after. He picks it up, looks at it, and then he slides it back onto my playmat like, nah, I'm okay, I don't want it. And I was like, okay, no, it's no problem. Like a little offended, but no problem. And in hindsight now, I'm probably like, I probably shouldn't give profane sleeves to a kid anyway. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, basically that's my weekend. It was super fun to play. I really wish I did better, but here we are. That's what makes us human, and that's what makes me strive better to be better every day. So let's go ahead and get into the deck that I played over the weekend. So let me grab that. Sweet. So this was the Dash deck list that I brought to Oregon. So Dash.io, as everyone knows, the IO stands for in Oregon. I brought a pretty aggressive list. I would say that I definitely did not respect. I kind of disrespected decks that could block really well, like try to just innately fatigue, like stuff like Florian, Teklo-Boston that I played. The decks that just have innately block on every card in their deck. The Florian, who runs multiple defense reactions as well as all of their cards blocking. I was definitely trying to see all the aggro decks like Viscerai, Aurora, Dash Mirror, even Enigma. Enigma has a lot of auras that you can kind of get through. and just push through as well. So I was trying to find those sort of decks with the sort of deck list. It's a little bit more aggressive and kind of disrespecting the block very wide and tall decks that are possible because it lacks a lot of items. So starting off, we have Achilles Accelerator. As always, adaptive blading, pretty standard. Hanabi Blaster. So this is the new kind of sauce for Dash.io. The Taminda, who also top aided the calling, also ran Hanabi and Symbiosis Shot. But I only ran Hanabi because I thought it was fast enough and the games were ending fast enough to where you can only shoot once or twice with this gun. And it's just enough to kind of get over it. And it goes along with another item in the list that we'll go over later, Powder Keg. I think this gun is a little bit better with that. And just through testing it, it just felt like the better choice between this and Symbiosis Shot. With this list as well, it acts a little bit better with Symbiosis Shot. With Hanabi Blaster, because you don't run as many items. You're just running basically all the 0 for 3s. And just kind of going to town with Hanabi Blaster. So pretty standard equipment loadout besides the gun. But we'll kind of get into why this is a Hanabi Blaster deck and why the core tenet of the deck is to boost and try to get max V off. So with our main board, I was going over like Dash and where she stood in the sort of like new iteration of Dash without high octane. I felt like Symbiosis Shot got a lot of value in being that you can unload the gun counters whenever you want. And I found that in the games, even when, you know, Dash.io was still legal with high octane, and in the games where I couldn't play high octane or couldn't find it in time, I just really struggled with unloading my pistol. I like always ended the game win or lose if I didn't find a high octane. With 4 to 5 counters, I just couldn't shoot at the end. And it was really tough to get the counters off. So I thought of Hanabi Blaster, where if you're just still boosting, it takes you 2 turns to get ready, but not really, because it always takes you 2 turns to get ready, but it's not a requirement to boost to shoot it or like get a counter on it. You can just play 3 boost cards, so like you can boost, not boost, and you'll get a counter on it on that first turn. So you're kind of saving deck with Hanabi Blaster as well. But with this sort of list, I basically took all the 0 for 3s that were possible in mech. So you got like your Data Link, your Expedite, Fast and Furious, you got Sprocket Rocket, T-Bone, 0 to 60, all these different 0 cost attacks, and I just slammed them into the deck. All the super low cost stuff, so I don't really have Throttle in here. I do have Twin Drive in the sideboard, and that's just for like more additional boost fodder and to kind of get my max Vs off when I really need to against fatigue. But this deck is basically just trying to max V as easily as possible with a super low cost curve. And with the super low cost curve and less items as well, you're going to find items off the top of the deck at a lower rate. I always have this question in mind: if 0 to 60 yellow is in the deck because it's a 0 boost for a Hanabi and a 2-pitch, why not use T-Bone yellow instead? So that's always a fair argument. T-Bone yellow is obviously 1 less damage. And 0 to 60 is 3 damage. It is definitely easier to block T-Bone, you know, with like give them a 2 cost armor or 2 block armor and prevent the on hit. But 0 to 60 blue, if you play it, especially in Dash.io, they have to kind of give you a card. Even if they do give you a card, that's kind of what you want in these aggro mirrors. You want something that's a little bit taller to be able to make boom grenades hit. So the 3 versus the 2 in Dash.io definitely matters a lot more, just because of the boom grenades. But I would say in normal Dash.ie, where you don't have these sort of on hits with your deck, T-Bone might be worth it to kind of sacrifice the damage of 0 to 60 to be able to have the utility of making people block with their equipment. Back in Dash.io, I used to run 9 T-Bones and Magnetic as well, so it's kind of a difference in philosophy. I would say, just to cut it up, like 0 to 60 yellow is always going to be a little bit better in Dash.io, just because you want these sort of damage points where your opponent has to dedicate a card, or dedicate a card in armor, or dedicate a card with like, or a 4 block like Sink Below or Fate for Scene 2. So it's all about breakpoints. With this deck, it's less so with like the items and more so with just the ability to boost. So, hey Anthony, big fan. Evan finally gave me the Runeblade cards today. Oh, nice. Awesome, man. Thanks, Justin, for tuning in, too. I'm also a big fan of yours. I was just shouting you out earlier today. And then, basically, we're just trying to cast Max V as easily as possible with all these 0 costs. So, like, a really common line is you have Tekla Core out and you just boost 3 times. And then you just Max V on, like, a 4-card hand. Which usually is really hard if you don't have Twin Drive. But the deck is kind of built around that. I unfortunately ran into a lot of decks that was able to block out all my attacks. And this deck kind of like is a feast or famine deck with maximum velocity. Like if you attack with the first Max V and you still have Backup Protocol Red in your deck, you can still go ahead and like get it with resources and whatnot. Did I miss the Burgerville story time? You did unfortunately miss Burgerville. But nothing beats $2 burgers, right? Like that's super good. So in short, I always go to Burgerville when it's $2. Yeah, just like your stereotypical, I think, Dash deck list. Thaminda actually went a really different route with his, kind of going more for the older Dash philosophy of just having a lot of items on board and kind of overwhelming. This one, I was hoping to catch a lot of people off guard with like how aggressive it was and how fast it was out of the gate with Hanabi Blaster and like the reliance on Max V. But unfortunately ran into decks that disrupted very well or blocked very well, so couldn't really get there. But I think this one is a little bit better suited for matchups like Dash. I mean, like the Dash Mirror, Aurora, Viscera even, just because it's overwhelmingly aggressive and it presents so many attacks per turn, and it's always threatening Max V. When you hit an item off the top, it's still really OP because like you can get an extra card with Cerebellum to fulfill your boost requirements. The Boom Grenade still really hurt off the top of the deck. But it's not as reliant on Boom Grenade because you're going so wide with your attacks so often because it's filled with all these attacks. So yeah, I think I would still be confident enough to take it to another tournament. Just didn't really go my way. But you can see like usually you're on BIOS update in 3 of these Tekla Pounders, but we lean really aggressively into the aggro game plan. TikTok Clock for the Mirror, Twin Drive, and Underloop as kind of just like filler boost cards to have more deck to be able to boost against like more defensive decks like Enigma and New. You got Powder Keg. So Powder Keg's pretty cool. It says whenever a mechanologist gun you control hits, you may destroy Powder Keg in a defending equipment. So you can like T-bone one of their equipment, and then while it's still defending on the chain, you can shoot them with the Hanabi Blaster. And then shooting them with Hanabi Blaster, it does damage. Powder Keg will pop and it'll kill or destroy the equipment that's defending on the chain. So that's a pretty cool card that I expect a lot of people to run in the future, especially with Armament so prominent nowadays with like Grasp the Arc Knight sticking around all the time. Stuff like that. It's definitely gonna be well contested, and it actually helps a lot because people block all the time with breakpoints. Like if you send like a zipper hit, they'll probably block with the 3 block and their 2 block armor. And Powder Keg is a really good way just to get rid of it at the end of the chain. And then I ran 1 Tekla Pounder just in case I went first. If I went first, I was able to slam it down, but I kind of wanted to go all in super fast and try to catch them off guard. Like this was my kind of counter to count your blessings. Kind of just going too fast to overwhelm them early rather than like set up for late game where they have the chance to heal up all the way before I get there. So that it was just my take on coming out of the gate fast. The 1 Tekla Pounder revealing that, or kind of showcasing that, because I'm not playing this slow kind of value game plan. I'm just trying to go fast out the gate, and if I end up drawing on the first turn, I can slam it down, or if I have enough resources, I can spark for it turn 0. So just having 1 to not slow down my deck for the future, but have the upside of being able to play it first on the first turn. So that's my Dash deck list. I'll post in the chat just so everyone that wants to play it can play it. Dash IO. This music is jazzy right now. Jeez. So that's the Dash deck list I took. Let's go over the top 8 list from Thaminda. They did really well with this Dash deck list. I think they played a lot of aggro as well, so that's definitely the matchup you want to see when you're playing Dash IO. I'm going to test the Powder Tech on my deck. Hell yeah. That's a good card. I think Thaminda also had Powder Keg. Nope, never mind. I lied. I thought I saw another Dash deck list that had Powder Keg in it, but I might be tripping. But yeah, pretty similar loadout. Instead of having Bracelets of Belief, they went with Goliath Gauntlet. So this always gets you the value, and you can start the chain with it, so you don't break the chain. The Bracelet of Belief is a little bit more like cute, I guess. You have to break the chain, and it's gonna be +2. It's gonna be +2 as well because you're gonna know when it's red. But there's, I guess, the trade-off of not always knowing when you want to use it, because if you're like boosting and like your first card when you boost on top is, say like a blue, and you kind of want to get to Pulse Wave, it's gonna be harder to activate Bracelet of Belief because you'll have to break the chain since it's an action. But with Goliath Gauntlet, if you know that you're going to max V at the end anyway, like Goliath Gauntlet, you could crack it first and not break the chain, and then just boost out with Pulse Wave, and then max V for 12 at the end. So, Goliath Gauntlet and Bracelet of Belief both kind of acting in similar ways, I would say. But I personally believe that Bracelet of Belief is a little bit more relevant because I'm running a lot more reds. And for the fact that it works on any card rather than just 2-cost cards. I think Goliath Gauntlet really shines when you see max V with it, but Bracelet of Belief, you can just use it whenever, like against anyone, and you just know exactly when it's going to be +2. So this card's really good with getting the 0 for 3s up to 5 and making it a little bit harder to block. You can't just like sink below it. You can't just, it's inefficient to 2-card block it. So I think that, the card's really nice. Like it's really nice to have in the deck, and I just love the fact that it's like so memey. Like I always say, like how do I know? How do I know it's +2? Whenever I activate it. But there's a major difference there. And then in this deck list, obviously has backup. It has a lot more like items. So it has 6 boom grenades rather than 4 that I ran. It has a 3rd backup protocol red. It still has heist in the deck. I went down a heist because I went down lower on blues, so I didn't have heist in my deck. But they're still on heist. Pretty similar boost package. I don't see anything too different. I ran Data Link and Expedite rather than all these like BIOS update cards and whatnot. Judge my opponent is cheating. They always reveal a red off bracers. Yeah, I don't know. They just always are able to time it perfectly. But pretty similar boost package. There's a lot more items in this one with like Tackle Pounder. I think backup protocol blue. They got the penetration script as well. Like I said, the 2 more boom grenades, and then they run BIOS update as well to kind of eke out that value with Tackle Pounder with those items on top. But with Hanabi only, BIOS update kind of struggles with that because it doesn't have boost on it. So you won't be able to get a Hanabi counter off it, unfortunately. So that's kind of the big downside that happens with Hanabi Blaster. You kind of have to go all in on the boost package. So Thaminda, running also Symbiosis Shot probably allowed him to free up his BIOS update slot, or like freed him up to play BIOS update just because it triggers Symbiosis Shot more often. And yeah, I think this Dash deck list is pretty similar to what you would see before with High Octane. But just kind of rolling with it and kind of still going along the same mentality of trying to get value of Symbiosis Shot, cranking items so that you get 2 action points and shooting Symbiosis Shot twice. I think is still the wave in this deck. So definitely could see myself bringing something like this if I wanted to go a little bit more standard. But I really wanted to test out that new Dash deck list that I ran with all the 0 costs. So yeah, those are the 2. Congrats to Thaminda once more for making the calling top 8. Wasn't able to catch any of his games live, but was able to watch them play a little bit in top 8. So that was super cool, super fun to see. And hopefully we can see a Dash still making on top. Wherever, maybe in Chicago when Dash.io is freed up to play High Octane in LL. Hopefully they can get there as well. Sweet. So we're just gonna play a couple games with Dash.io. Let me go ahead and grab the deck. So we're gonna play a couple games with the Dash.io deck that I brought to Portland. See if we can make any modifications. See if we like something a little bit more. Feel like something's lacking. I did a really bad last minute edit, I think. I had not been practicing with Boom Grenade the yellow one and the third fender bender, and I just kind of last minute added it because I had 2 slots that I freed up in my sideboard. Probably could have gone to something like pen script, in my opinion. Like if I just played penetration script, that probably would have been a little bit better. But let me go ahead and bring the deck up real quick. Hold on. I think pen script would actually be a lot better in my deck as well because of its ability to buff all the 0 cost attacks to 4. I think it's really valuable then. But let's go ahead and get some games in with this deck. We'll play Viscerai. OTKO. We'll show that when skirmish season comes up for Blitz. The OTKO deck. Alright. First game against Viscerai. So actually against my Florian opponent, I forgot, I don't know why, but I forgot to put in Achilles. So I didn't have AB. Sorry, I had to get some water in me. I didn't have AB. So I basically died to arcane damage, but I think I was basically fatigued before I got there anyway. So the AB didn't end up mattering. But it was pretty funny that I forgot. And they're like, "Oh, you can take it back if you like." I'm like, "Okay, it's okay. I just forgot." All right, play it through. We'll go first. So we don't want to forget AB here. We'll probably want to get the Adaptive Plating to stop the Snuff Out on hit or the Succumb to Temptation if we know they have it. They might be on a little bit more of an aggressive list, so I like sometimes putting in Twin Drive just to kind of double boost and just hedge. But it's never a bad thing, I think, to include more cards in Dash Out just because you go through them so fast. But yeah. How's your Venset matchup? With the recent addition of all the 4 blocks, so like Haunting Rendition, obviously reduced rune chance below, it does get a little bit harder to make the Boom Grenade connect. And Vincent, I think, excels on playing with like a very small amount of cards in hand. So with that in mind, I think that I can definitely see Dash struggling against it. Let's see, let's make sure. Yeah, I can definitely see Dash struggling with it if Vincent kind of like lines up really well, gets like a couple of Malefics out, just blocks super efficiently, and then can disrupt with like the widespreads. But Dash just excels against any deck that doesn't block well, for 1, and then 2, doesn't present any disruption. So with those 2 factors, if you don't do both or either very well, Dash can definitely catch you lacking. Alright, so we're going to start off with Data Link boosting. So we do have a Cerebellum that we played from first turn. Ballin' for real. Thanks, man. So Data Link's actually like a super underrated card, but I actually like Expedite a little bit more because Expedite feels a little bit scarier, because if you just let Expedite hit, you can like put in you can just put in an item like Cerebellum, and then like you'll get an extra action point and whatnot. It's pretty insane. So here is a pretty hard debate. I can just boost and not boost away my max V and kind of have a slower turn next turn to be able to set up a max V. Or I can just boost this away and then get an extra arsenal with my Cerebellum. I think it's pretty sad to see the first max V go, but I think it's worth it just to get it. And obviously we get instantly punished because we now have a blue T-Bone in our arsenal, but it does say boost on it, so that's all that matters. I think with the value of Cerebellum, we just always go for it and have a 4-card hand. We just always go for it, have a 4-card hand, and try to come back with a bigger attack. Malefic. Okay, so they just have a super slow turn. I'm going to go ahead and play this Boom Grenade. I'll crank it, and then I'll start off with good old 0 cost T-Bone boost. So here we're going to Spark of Genius for a red backup protocol. I'll crank it. It's doing that weird bug. So now we have this. Okay. So now we have doubles. We can actually crank this one to be able to get an extra point to draw a card. So that seems pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yes. Now we have max V as well. Why the backup protocol? So the backup protocol actually helps you a lot in kind of filtering your hand, getting back reds when you draw a lot of blues, and for the fact that you can get max V from your graveyard. Here we do see a max V, so this is pretty good as well. I'm going to go ahead and draw and Fender Bender boost. So we've already boosted twice. So all we need to do is get back a zipper hit here. And then we can also tackle Foundry Heart into max V. But yeah, the backup protocol just serves as a really good option for you to be able to just serves as a really good option to be able to kind of filter your hand, filter your blues, and then just kind of fix your hand when it's kind of getting a little awkward. I like sparking for it in situations like this because you can go ahead and draw an extra card. If you draw a blue, you can turn it into another damage card. Let's go ahead and grab another zipper hit, boost it. So if they end up face purgatorying this, I think it's still worth it. We're able to Hanabi blasted them after. They've already used a non-attack and an attack to block before previously. So if they don't end up blocking this, it's going to be pretty bad for them, I think. Okay. I think it's actually better to discard this max V. I think we're gonna discard it anyway. Just because we want to be able to recur it to next turn. So the next turn, I know I do have a Nabi here which does damage, but I kind of want to get max V into my arsenal, knowing that the backup protocol is going to break next turn. Oh, sorry. I probably should shoot. Forgot to shoot for 5. We're going to take 5 there. So now he doesn't have face purgatory anymore, and now I can just straight boost down to be able to get there. So just gonna dirge to get more rune chance. That's perfectly fine. And then this scenario, since we have the twin drive too, we can just save this outpace to be able to hit for next turn. So we're just gonna go ahead 0 to 60. So we can double boost twin drive here rather than play the outpace out as well. If we play the outpace, we actually don't have enough resources anyway. So being able to save a card for next turn as well and keep boosting is going to be pretty good. Alright, he's taking 4. Let's see his reaction. Yeah, there we go. Rune chance stacking. So we're running through a lot of cards here. But being able to get this max V off is going to be pretty good. They still have 4 block left on Dyadic and Grasp. So a lot of different ways to still block out some of these on hits. Slap them? Yeah. Try my best. So I'm not going to crank. But I'll play max V here. So I'm going to play max V and force them to block out with equipment, just in case they didn't have enough block there. But then we go into next turn 2 still having this boom grenade up, so it's still going to be a pretty good turn from us. So we start off with this blue 0 to 16. They're full blocking us. Ooh, nice. So our next boost, even if this boom grenade doesn't hit, our next boost will be able to keep it alive as well. So it's going to be pretty good. What is up, Marcus? Welcome in, man. How's it going? We'll take this guy. So now he has absolutely no more armor to block with. We still have fast and free. Oh, we still have a boom grenade for next turn too. Now this is a weird turn. So I kind of feel like just setting up the pen script here. But let's see what he does. Like if he just ends up taking a boom grenade here, should be okay with us. Being able to set up this pen script will be pretty clutch. Boosting with some ice cubes. But making this attack hit will be pretty clutch. Or making this boom grenade connect will be pretty clutch. And then we'll be able to shoot Hanabi Blaster after 2. He has the DB Act, yeah. So I want to save it there. He's blocking us out pretty well. The alt art goes hard. Oh, for Jez, like what are we talking about? So I could replace my card here and get max V off. But I think we kind of want to have a slower turn. And try to get him with one really big turn at the end here. Yeah, galvanize this. So you can block 6 exactly, just in case that is your boy. So we're just gonna not boost this. And Arsenal max V so that we can have a really big turn next turn. Hopefully with some boom grenades. Just because if we're playing hand to hand, I think Viscera is going to fatigue us. We have one boom grenade red left. We're just going to take it. There's the boom grenade red. So this is actually a case where we can, if they attack us, we can use our Crown of Providence here. Going to take the damage. So I'm going to go ahead and sink my boom grenade. And now we have this guy. Another one. So if it is succumb, then it's going to be pretty annoying. But we can't officially block succumb, so it's going to be tough. But they're going to rip a card out of our hand. They'll probably take Twin Drive. Succumb's really well timed here. They take the Twin Drive, which is definitely the right move. Succumb is always well timed. Yeah. If they didn't have the Succumb there, it would have been a pretty nasty turn for me. But unfortunately, they had it. So we gotta work with what we got now. The question is, can I still max V? I can. Let's see. It would require a pretty big draw off the top. So we will be able to max V here. So up. I mean, we drew the 0 to 60, but we would have to crack our Achilles Accelerator. But they're still going to be able to block pretty well. So I am tempted to just slam this down, and then hopefully we can have a really big turn next turn with our Cerebellum up. So I'm just going to slam Techlo Core down, and then next turn hopefully draw into the nuts here. Alright, so so he just has a setup turn, which is exactly what we kind of want. So we'll start off with T-Bone here. Cranking there. Set up these. So we know that there's a Boom Grenade on top somewhere in this deck. So we're going to try to filter really hard for it. There's the pen script. Not really what I want to see right now. I mean, we could just play it off the top here and then get an extra resource. So we are going to play it off the top, actually. Yes. So we have 2 resources here. So now we know that our Boom Grenade is somewhere in the middle of our deck. So here's the issue. We don't know where it is, but we know the top card is Throttle, so we Techno Foundry Heart now. We kind of have a better chance since we know one of the cards is not Boom Grenade. We can go ahead and do that. Should I Techno Foundry now? I guess I can boost and then find out anyway. Okay, so there's the Techno Core, which we do not want. But I have boosted 3 times now. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. So if we just kept, so it was somewhere in the deck, like I was trying to find it. Unfortunately, it was on the Techno Foundry Heart. But maybe we can still get here. So if they don't have a defense reaction in Arsenal, they actually die. Do this. So it would have been nice to have the Boom Grenade because we for sure win. But if that did defense reaction, we lose. Alright, cool. We ended up winning. So yeah, we were able to set up a really big turn at the end there. We knew that the Boom Grenade was in there somewhere, but we just settled for the pen script. So it was good enough to kind of close you out at the end there. Get the extra action point to draw a card off Cerebellum. So that was super clutch. Yeah, I'm still wondering like what the correct sequence was. Like with the Throttle, like it could be in any order, right? With the Boom Grenade because it's random off after the search. So it's just unlucky that we kind of did it in that order. If we Techno Foundry Heart first, we could have found it on top. Drew it and then like played it out. But I think that actually we get more damage by just playing the outpace anyway. So I think it's still worth it just to still get the outpace. So not a bad game. Pretty good game from us. Sweet. GG's. Yeah, and that's just the beauty of Dash O. Sometimes like you can be getting blocked out pretty well. And then sometimes you just find the sauce. All right, this is one of the harder matchups, so hopefully we can try to string together something good here. They do get to choose who goes first and second, so let's see what they end up choosing. They will go first. This is definitely one of those games where you just include as many cards as you can. If this is CYB Bravo, this is a stinker, and he's not a real one. He's on Tunic, so he's already kind of there. Oh, this would have been an insane go first hand. Holy. So it does look like it's a CYB Bravo from what I'm seeing. I'm like tempted not to even swing or not to even block. But I'm gonna block with T-Bone. Cringe and stinky. True. So we're just gonna actually play out an Arsenal this. If there's CYB Bravo, they probably won't be able to hit us really hard. So I'm just gonna do a setup turn. Don't want to waste any cards. kind of like have multiple instances of really good turns rather than just have like a mid turn, because Bravo will be able to block us out pretty easily. So here's the hoping that he doesn't have much to respond with. He does have a Count Your Blessings, which is, you know, to be okay. Well, pretty good turn to pass on. He had 2 reds and a Count Your Blessings. So we're just gonna let it hit here. Don't care too much about this one. So we really want to spread out our sort of damage into stuff that's really hard to block. So we're gonna go 5-5. We're probably gonna go since he gives his shield here, we're gonna go 5 into 4 into 1. And then probably Arsenal under loop for the next turn. Cool, cool, cool. And then we'll make him block with an armor so that he regrets all life choices. Imagine if Fast and Furious worked on Teklo Powder or on any Steam counter. That'd be insane. Oasis, sure. And we'll T-bone, no boost, but then they'll still have to give us an armor. So we do have go again, which is actually pretty good because the deck really excels at having quicken tokens because you can just play it out rather than pushing. So we're going to go ahead and actually block. And we'll set up our pen script for next turn. I probably should have kept the Fast and Furious and blocked with yellow 0 to 60 maybe. No. So we're going to draw Max V next turn. If he doesn't have disruption, we can go off. He probably has disruption here. Righteous Cleansing. Okay. This one's the one that banishes the top 5 cards, I believe. Yeah. So, not too crazy. We just need to block 7. Is that Jarl? True. We don't have too many attacks, unfortunately. If our Max V was like a different card, I could definitely see this being a little bit easier to kind of get away with. It's technically not any direct hit, but it's hard to kind of. I think we just let it hit and then get straight out this for a card here. Then we can also like Cerebellum to draw a card as well. This is really tough. The top card of our deck's not too good either. I think we're just going to block out here and save some damage. It is dominated, so we do have to give up 2 armor pieces. I don't really want to give up Crown. Yeah, this is going to suck. I would just do this. No Galvanize. So we're just going to wait. So this quicken token actually lets us carry our not boost at all, basically. So that's pretty good. Man, this guy's taking forever. Please, man. Please let me play. CYB's lagging. The only cool part of CYB Bravo is Righteous Cleansing to deal deck damage. Otherwise, it's a cringe pile and affront to my boy, the Showstopper. Yeah. CYB is pretty funny. It's a very polarizing card. I feel like so many people have different thoughts on it. Ooh, we should boost. So we kind of do want to boost here. We do want to boost because we get the Fast and Furious counter onto pen script. And then we'll just go ahead and pulse wave, no boost. I probably should have just like underloop first without boosting and then pulse wave boost after. I think CWB would fine if it wasn't generic. They're all very good points. Like it could have been like a cleric spell to come out with cleric. It would have been a pretty cool cleric class card in my opinion. See, I'm cool with CYB, but when people take forever while playing CYB, that's like the hard part because you just kind of sit there and watch them heal. Where if they're playing fast, you can kind of appreciate it. Like, you know, you're trying to fatigue me and you're playing relatively fast, which is always cool. Okay, he lets it hit, so he probably has CYB. Yep. See, this should heal him for 4, so back up to 40. Dude. It's just taking forever, man. Yeah. Yo, Cleric Errata next year? That would be funny. If CYB turned into just a Cleric spell. I'm not sure if he's lagging or something. But he's kind of roping, dude. Yeah, he's roping. He's just taking forever to block. You're just blocking, man. Just blocking player CYBs. Let me boost on you. Isn't there one that says, "Are you there? Are you there?" He got the 6 million ping. He has like 6 million ping, and he just cannot connect to the game. His count your blessings are just taking up too much dedicated wham right there. All right, so we do that. He lets it hit. So we're back to 40. I'm just gonna get some swings in here because we have the pen script out. And we have 0 to 60 there. We have Techlicore, and we have Max V. So we're lined up to have a really good turn next turn. So hopefully we can get there. We do still have all of our boom grenades. We didn't boost too hard yet. We have another Max V in our graveyard. So we still have a lot of deck to get through. So we're definitely not out of the game just yet. No. Undo. Okay. You just need to give me one. It didn't boost. Pen script is +1. What's the one that does -1 defense? There's a couple of those. The -1 defense one is either the Thanos Gauntlet or I think there's another one that makes all of. There's one that makes all your action cards do 1 less block, I think, and one that does attack action cards or something. There's a couple that do minus block. By the way, the music dropped. Yeah, I know the music bot is a little weird. It's because it's not copyrighted, so I feel comfortable playing it. But oh, he's gonna CNC me. Dang, he has CNC on this turn. If he didn't have it this turn, it would have been insane. Wow, now we can't even max V him with all this stuff out. If we were able to keep everything, it would have been insane. So we are going to sink here, the max V away, and grab an outpace. Hopefully we can find something cool off the top. Okay, so we start off with 5. Start off with zipper hit. Let me just snap your block value away. Yeah, if we didn't have CNC here, we would have had a huge turn with max V. But we'll be able to slam down the powder keg after this turn too. So it'll be pretty good. Data link here. He's gonna block with civic steps. we're going to go ahead and not boost because you don't have to. So we could boost here and shoot him. It might be better just to slam down the powder keg here and keep a boost card. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So now he has to live in fear of this card, or else his Rampart will perish. There's 2 items that I wish were not in my hand. Not going to block this one. So the Expedite will be pretty good. Do want to get another gun counter here. So we're going to start off by boosting. We still have a lot of cards in deck. He's at 30. And he does have CYB, so there are chances where he, can't fully block out a boom grenade. So fully blocks that. Alright, so we'll be able to set up pretty big next turn here. So we have the powder keg out. Can he full block this? If he can't, I can kill it. Okay, so that's pretty good for us. So we'll actually shoot here because the Rampart's defending. So we can go ahead and destroy the Rampart here if it hits. We'll go ahead and play that. He's going to count his blessings, which is fine. Let me just snap away your block value. Yeah, that's the card we're thinking about. So I'm kind of tempted to play out this boom grenade and just boost down here. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with outpace. This one's gonna be hard for him to block if he doesn't have the armor for it. Looks like the boom grenade connects. Yippee for me. Alright, and I think I kind of want to set up next turn here with Underloop as well. Just play the Cerebellum out, no Craig, and we'll just go ahead and Arsenal our Twin Drive to be able to set up for next turn, knowing that I have an Underloop. We could have a really big turn here. Alright, he's going to go for an item. He's going to grab Crippling Crush and Arsenal it, I guess. Sure. So we're going to go ahead and start boosting here. So we do have a Cerebellum that we pitched last. No, we played it out. So we're trying to find an item off the top here. He takes it. Okay, cool. Tunic. Took it so that he can Oasis this Underloop, I think. Yeah. So he's going to Oasis the Underloop. I'm going to boost once with this. So if he wants to play out his Crippling Crush, he does have to keep 3 cards in hand now. He's going to probably sink it. So he still can't play his Crippling Crush. So I am tempted to just end my turn here. Because Spark is so good. I kind of want to just end my turn. And just shoot the Hanabi. Yeah, I think I want to end my turn, shoot the Hanabi. arsenal, and then we have a boom grenade on top that we can work with. So a lot of different tools here. Oh yeah, I forgot he draws a card. Okay, I forgot about that. Whoops, that's my fault, definitely. I think I should have went in a little bit more ham. Okay, that's definitely my fault. But we kind of already put ourselves in the spot, so we're gonna go ahead and take it. I forgot about the show time. Row scoop, indeed. But we do get the +1 off this. Yeah, we would have had a pretty sick turn there if he didn't disrupt us. His CNC came at a really good time earlier too, so he's been finding his disruptions really well. Showtime's still one of my favorite cards. It's a pretty good card. No blocks. Alright. He takes it. We're gonna go ahead and arsenal the pulse wave. See what he can send us. Never yield. Not sure we're starting your turn, destroy, never yield. If you have no cards in hand, draw a card. Move a minus. He has literally no equipment left, so never yield doesn't really do much. Interesting. Actually, let's go back. I think this is definitely the turn where we want to break this. So having the option of having 2 resources will always be good. Sorry, having the option to have an extra action point here so that we can use Cerebellum would be probably pretty good. I think this is definitely the turn where we go all in. Go ahead and spark for 0. And grab a Cerebellum, crank it. Cool. Never yield is more about making a statement. True. So we've been blocking with a lot of 3 blocks. Okay, so it does have a sink below here. We should still have 2 action points. So I can draw, play this, no crank, arsenal pass. So he does not have disruption here, which is good for us. Alright, let's see if we can get there. If we find any crankable thing, we can both we can Hanabi Blaster and do Max V. So if we find anything off the top here, it'll be pretty good for us. So this threatens the boom grenade to start. Ooh, he has sink below and arsenal is pretty good. There's the other Max V. I think we still have 1 Cerebellum left. So he's probably doing this because he wants to Tunic Oasis, maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah, Tunic Oasis. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Crank the Cerebellum. Yes. Okay. So there's 2, 3 blocks. Was it better to crank the Cerebellum? It's not, right? Because I use 1 resource, but I don't net gain it back. Actually, no, it was. Draw this. I mean, if he has... Yeah, I think we just don't get there, unfortunately. We didn't have enough pitch to crank off the top and shoot him with the pistol. So if we have an extra action point here, we can actually shoot there, which is tough. We could always try. Do we have anything in here? So overpower doesn't really do anything. If only we had soup up here. Yeah, just couldn't get there. So close. Just some really timely disruption from him. The Showtime, I totally forgot about the Showtime drawing you a card, which kind of sucks. Let me try to fix the music while I'm at it. Wait. He took 5? Okay. BMing me. That's pretty funny. So close. That wasn't bad. Oh, I forgot to concede. I just left. Whoops. That was a bit of a tougher game. The disruption, if we put it on the disruption a little bit better, we probably could get there. I forget if I used my boots too early. I think I did. I think I could have just saved it for the kill turn there at the end. But yeah, we had one more resource there. We win, right? Because we can shoot for 5 after. So pretty close. Serious. Cirrus. Depends on who will go first here. So he's going first. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of want to try to blow up his. I want to test this out a little bit more. I've always wanted to blow up their card. From the Arc Knight, sure. He's gonna go read the runes, I assume. Runeblood Barrier. He's gonna play Runeblood Barrier. 2 yellow amps, sure. So he's playing Runeblood Barrier. I hate this bug. It's on the right. Okay. Second one's pretty insane. So I'm gonna go ahead and Arsenal and try to get a better turn this turn. Mordred. Sure. He's just setting up. Okay. Very cool. I'll start off with this. Reduce the rune chant, sure. Jesus. He's got the saucer now to block me out. Man, the music just keeps stopping here. It's kind of crazy. We probably don't want him to play that. Probably shouldn't let this hit, man. There would be. Actually, I should go get. I feel like I should go get let me move. Wait, what? I see. Actually, I should do that first. I should do this first. Boost. Just in case he has a ability to block everything out. So using up all his armor here is going to be pretty good for me. And then we get to go into next turn with the full 5-card hand as well. So he blocks everything out, sure. Pretty good turn. Wish we didn't have this. What a peculiar card. So he's pretty wrecked on equipment here. We unfortunately could not find the max V to get him there. Blessing of the Occult. So he's just blocking with all of his armor. That's cool. I'll break the chain. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and use it. Boost again. Getting 5 free damage here. So it looks like he's just full blocking us out, which is okay. I think we're gonna boost the Fast and Furious here, get the T-bone off the top, and then go into next turn with the zipper hits. This cerebellum processor off the top too. Looks like he's sync blowing, so he's definitely trying to set up a bigger turn, or we're trying to set up a bigger turn, I should say. Okay, so we start off with zipper hit here. We do have the powder keg. So powder keg is not so good in this scenario, I don't think. I don't think he's going to block anymore with his armor. He's just full blocking. We're not finding very many items off the top, so we're not doing any damage. So we're milling our deck pretty fast here, which kind of sucks. So he's just full blocking. Alright, so we have another chance here to do another big setup turn. Hopefully we can find some sort of connection. There's the spark. Okay. One cerebellum there. Should have another cerebellum soon. just full blocking. Actually, we shouldn't do that. Sorry. We should do this. Draw. Do this. Now we couldn't really find anything after our first boom grenade. All the other boom grenades are just not here in the deck. Alright, we can try to put something big together here. So I am thinking about just passing here. Like crank, play this, double boom grenade, and just pass. We do have one technical core left in the deck. So I'm gonna do this, yes. No. I'm kind of just tempted to shoot here. So we'll know that we get our max speed for sure, and we keep all of our armor. And this way we keep spark in our deck too, just in case we need to draw a card. So rather than trying to go turn to turn, we're going to set up one really big turn. Hopefully he doesn't have warmongers. That would suck. So he's also just going to pass. Okay, cool. So we start off by boosting here. We go ahead and spark for 0. Get our boom grenade, crank it. Get our pitch card, which is great. So we don't have any more items here, unfortunately. Yeah. That stinks. So we do get fatigued here, unfortunately. Just found the sauce too late, I think. He found a good way to kind of get the phrase purgatory out. So this is like sort of the downfall of this sort of style of the deck. Like just a super fast, like out of the gate deck can definitely be detrimental, because if it doesn't line up early, it just doesn't feel like you did any damage throughout the game. And if they just end up blocking like this, it's going to be really tough to kind of find your deck and kind of find the space afterwards. So this is the sort of game I was having in like Portland. And I think this is a really big downfall of the deck. I definitely, tech the deck for just trying to find auroras and whatnot, and most of the aggro decks. But this is where the other sort of deck with trying to get, incremental value with sort of a ton of items is always really good, just because Symbiosis Shot can chip you in there. But sometimes your max speed doesn't line up, so like that game, it's just a little tough sometimes when they still have the face purgatory up. With the double boom grenade there, actually, I think we might have killed them if they didn't have the face purgatory lineup, because that'd be 10, 18 plus another 4, so maybe we get there. But that's just sometimes the downfall of Dash. You're super easily fatigued now with high octane in the game, without high octane in the game anymore. So you kind of have to find the correct ways to kind of go about doing damage. Him being able to block out everything on that first turn was pretty insane. Like the Sink Below from Arsenal, just full blocking with all of his armor. The Viscerai Fridge is just too strong. Oh, Living Legend CC. Alright, I think we got like 1 or 2 more games here. I kind of don't want to play against Teklo. We'll try out Bolton. Why not? Capitan Scrapples. That's a great name. Could be a more defensive Bolton as well, so let's see. Oh. Hopefully he's there. Don't know if he's there, so we're gonna go back. Yeah, if anyone in the chat wants to play too, I'm down for any viewer games too. Let's see. Yeah, I'm always thinking about. I like. So I know I'm a huge advocate for not playing CYB at Armories, but that CYB new deck actually kind of seems like fun. Victor, who piloted it to top 8, made it seem actually pretty fun to play. I still think I'm a fan of new without CYB a little bit more, but I think it's just hilarious with the fact that you just like you can just like swing like an attack and they're like super scared. Like say like you swing and you have like a card in hand still and they're scared of the reaction and they go to like overblock and you just end up like throwing up a random like CYB and it just like messes with all their blocks and whatnot. This is the same person, but I feel like their match wasn't up there when I went to go reset it. So I'm not sure. Oh, well. I'm actually pretty interested to see, because the new set, the Hunted, they're going to have a warrior, an assassin, and a ninja. And those are like the best 3 classes that Riptide can play against. So I'm actually pretty excited to see where Riptide ends up landing after the Hunted. It's going to be pretty fun to watch, I think. And it's always funny to kind of hear Riptide's name float around. I think he's pretty bad right now because of because of Viscerai, but he does have tools like Arcane Polarity to be able to kind of mitigate the damage that Viscerai does. But when Viscerai knows what they're doing, it's a little tough to kind of get past that. None of your attacks do anything against Viscerai either. Like usually Batting Bolt is your best friend in this sort of meta against Mystic heroes and Aurora, but it literally does nothing against Viscerai, so it's a little tough. Maybe with like the more defensive list now, with like more defense reactions, you can definitely see Riptide getting a little bit more points into that sort of Viscerai. But I think the hero Viscerai just beats the hero Riptide every time. It's less so on deck building, more on just like straight hero power context. Riptide OP. I agree. He is a hero that has less than 40 health, so of course he's gonna be broken. Let's play against Jarl. Jelly. Alright, let's play against Jarl. Just in case. Does Jarl make items? He doesn't, right? So he's got the sledge. Gauntlets of Boreal Domain. If an earth card is pitched this way, your attacks named Mangle get +2 damage this turn. If an ice card is pitched this way... Oh, beautiful. I missed you so much. I missed you so much, Channel Lake Frigid. Where did you go? In my time of need. So we're going to do this. So, no points in boosting. We can't get a Hanabi counter. With this, looks like he's loading out Sledge, so he doesn't even have the new weapon that they gave him. When this defends together with an Earth card, create an embodiment of Earth token. Is this not... I guess it blocks 4, 5. Blocks 5. Can he keep 2 ice cards here? He can. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and block like this. Actually, no, sorry. I'm gonna block like this. Keep the T-Bone in the deck because he has pretty brittle armor. I want to give him a tempo turn here so that we could just play Spark out. He unfortunately pitched 2 ice cards, so Channeling Frigid will be out again. But we're going to go ahead and play Spark. Tackle Core. Let's get a little help for our resources here. We do have a lot of pitch. Buckling Blow. Man, this is the Aura Yarl, huh? There's just some weird stuff going on. Fused. Okay. It's for 8. Cool. So we won't be able to use it very well. So he currently cannot keep Channel around, at least. So we're going to go ahead and boost with this guy. Man, I forgot how annoying Ice is to play against. Jesus. It's so funny. So we're going to have exactly enough pitch here to be able to play back a protocol, play out pen script no crank, and then grab Max V and Arsenal it for a really big turn next turn. Merging Avalanche says, at the beginning, destroy it, and the next attack action you play this turn gets +4. Okay, so he can play a Mangle next turn. Yarl. Excuse me. Ice is annoying AF, but without it, this game is so degenerate. It's very true. I appreciate Ice a lot for keeping heroes in check. Much like this deck. No, use it. So the question is, what do we get? Probably Max V, right? What a hand. We could just 4 times boost and hit him. Ugh. Oh god, this is bad. He's gonna get dominated on this Mangle. So he's gonna come in for 9. Pitch. Red. Okay, not terrible. We could probably block with the zipper it here. And this is -1, yeah. So we have to block at least 6. We do need the Techno Core here to be able to max V at the end, and having both is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm not gonna sink anything. So we'll lead off with Expedite. Hope that he blocks it because it's a scary on hit always. And then we'll go to Data Link 0 to 60 and then Max V at the end. This might be a turn where he breaks his Earth thing. I guess it is better than Well Grounded because he gives up his equipment. Okay. I guess it is better than Well Grounded because of the fact that I'm losing my train of thought here. It's better than Well Grounded because you cannot decompose, or you don't play towards decompose in Oldham. So maybe that's probably why. This is always better. Did he even make one? I don't even think he made one. So this is 4 value off this pen script, which is awesome. Snow under. So every time he plays an ice card now. Oh, ice earth. Put 2 random cards. Let's dominate. So I think we're just actually gonna pass. Sucks, but bottom. That's so sad. I kind of don't want that on top of my deck, especially if I'm trying to get. I guess I just gotta accept it. Yeah, it's so sad. It's always like I feel like there's so many times now with this deck where it's like you play the item and then you the item you actually want more on top is the next one. I have no pitch here, so it's gonna be pretty annoying if he makes some frostbites against me. The music keeps stopping. What is going on? Alright, there we go. Get a little jazz going in here again. Snow Under. If Snow Under is fused, it gains if this hits a hero, create a frostbite token under their control. Pretty good. Spinal Crush. So he does have enough to pummel me. Block out here. So the question is, we know that he has Frostfang in Arsenal. Probably Frostfang. Can we just throw out the Underloop here? Dude, so many freaking... Frostfang pummel. This is pretty tough. We just have to take it. Pay 2. Discard actually boomerang. Annoying, but 'tis the way of life. We gotta get some boost in here, I think. Finding a Cerebellum off the top here would be pretty clutch too. We're going to be able to underloop twice as well, and then also shoot the pistol after, or the gun after. Fast and Furious, it's pretty good. So even if he full blocks here, we can keep around the Boom Grenade next turn because of Fast and Furious. But if he does let it hit, pretty good value. We get a underloop at the bottom of our deck, and we get the Boom Grenade hitting. Doesn't seem like there's many. He hasn't shown me a defense reaction yet. He showed me the Unforgetting, Unforgiving. He's gonna give up Tunic. So he values the fact that this Boom Grenade's gonna hits, so we boost. So if we full blocks here, we can go ahead and shoot our gun because it does 5 damage no matter what. Just gets the full value. Cool. So we get he full blocks, which is, I guess, correct. Probably not worth playing that channel like Fidget. Pretty good turn from us here. We will crank. We will draw a card. So we really do want to connect with this boom grenade just because it pushes a lot of damage here. We'll also be able to boost all the way down to pulse wave, so this will be pretty good. So the thing is, if he lets it hit here, we can actually just do the 0 to 60 boost instead of the fender bender boost, because we're able to still rip a card from his hand and still keep an arsenal for next turn. That's pretty good for us. So I'll go ahead and take the mangle since it's the attack in his hand. And then we can go ahead and arsenal this guy and pass. It's pretty good there. If he ends up just swinging sledge, we're pretty up tremendous. Does this deck run Blizzard? I feel like it should run Blizzard. What a weird deck construction here, I think. Obviously it runs Mangles. Doesn't feel like there's anything crazy in this deck. It's a very ice-centric Jarl, which I think makes sense. But there's not really like all the good, like, you know, I haven't seen the My man is live. Is still live? Thanks, man. Wait, what did he do? I played channel from Arsenal. Okay. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? He doesn't even have an ice card. He doesn't even have an ice card to fulfill it. That's funny. What is... Yeah. This looks like an ice card. Snow Under. We'll go ahead and take it. We could get the galvanized value, but I think it's worth it just to go all in on this turn. So I'm going to start off with the Fender Bender. Sledge into Dash. Yeah, that was certainly a choice. You know, Jarl cares about empty equipment zones, and I think he has less equipment zones than me right now, so, you know. Certainly a choice that was made today. Blizzard. I will play 2. These Talishar Andes make me want to start that Guardian YouTube channel. So he didn't block, he just took it. Quite interesting. Alright. Unfortunately, we do not draw another 0 cost, but I guess this is the same if this would be the same if we ended up keeping both, if he doesn't have a defense reaction anyway. So we know he has channel and arsenal, so he is pretty much dead. Unfortunate. Unless there's not really a 1-card hand that could stop a gun for 5. Since we know he has channel, I think he's just dead. It's very cool though that he can Blizzard and it would be able to it'll be able to give you a frostbite. Kind of reminds me of Icelander. Pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think that was a very optimal build from our boy right there. Well, everyone's playing Living Legend. I'm playing I'm playing against Living Legend heroes without high octane. This is hilarious. We'll go ahead and do this. This will probably be our last game here. We'll run the powder keg just because of Phantasmal Footsteps. Oh, they're probably all practicing for Chicago coming up. It's Legend of Dash. These Talisha Andes make me want to start that on YouTube channel because we clearly need to educate these poor boys. Yeah, it's a little tough out here in these streets with you know, the Guardian people, the Guardian mains. They're coming out to in droves. Even like Evan, who never played Guardian in his life, he didn't even like Oldham probably because Lexi was around. But he's like super hyped on Jarl, so it's pretty funny to see everyone trying to get on the Jarl train. Peter, I didn't even notice that you were in the chat earlier. What's up, my dude? How's it going? So I'm gonna play this out and crank it. He's on the 10K plan. Interesting. Evan and Jarl sounds even worse for new players. Yeah, Evan's trying to be a menace to society, man. It's pretty funny. So he still doesn't have a blue in his pitch zone yet. So this waiting vengeance will die if JMax024 would love to enable chat. Hello. I cranked. Okay, so we're good to Arsenal. So we know that he has a sick blow, but you know, just comes with all the undos. Ooh, he has Secret Art too. So seeing the Secret Art pitched away is pretty good for us. We'll get our first gun counter here, which is going to be super good. Hopefully we'll find an item on the way, since we have one floating. This round's on me. This man hates LL5. Alright, so this pulse wave should be able to rip across. Rip all 3 cards out here. Unfortunately, we couldn't find an item in those 3 cards. We do get our Hanabi counter. So we make him block with that. He has Amulet of Echoes. So we gotta make sure we do not play 2 or more cards with the same name. Or if we do, we just have to play around it. I'm not going to boost this because I want the blue on top to be able to unlock my throttle if they end up not attacking. Homage. Drop, sure. So I do want to keep my gun counter up because of my the ability to get powder keg. This turn's pretty bad, I think. So I want to keep some blocks up just in case he swings CNC here. There's the Phantasma Closet. We actually save our hand a little bit more too here. That's pretty good for us. The funny thing is I can't really play these or else I'll get wrecked. I'm going to stand the throttle to start. Haven't found an item yet off the top. So we're struggling a little bit here. We're struggling a little bit. Receipt from hand, sure. Do 60 boost. So we're racking up all the gun counters here. Third gun counter is good. I'm gonna have some pretty good shots at Hanabi later on. So it's gonna be pretty good for us. Keep our Fast and Furious on top as well. So he does some blow from Arsenal. There's our first item. I think we're actually gonna Arsenal here. Yeah, I think this is a good setup turn here. We don't want to get straight out value. So there's a tunic up. We gotta be very careful not to play all of our Fast and Furiouses. That's pretty funny. Okay. 15,000 reunion and this one's on me. So we'll have to take out a card. And probably take out like Outpace or Zipper Hit. Probably Zipper Hit would be my choice. We already sent one max speed to the grave, which is gonna suck. But I think we want to keep this max speed for next turn. No. I think we should have. What we should have done is played our Fast and Furious from Arsenal. This way, he is incentivized to block 4 because I could crank off the top and do double boom grenade him. He's not. He doesn't care about that punish. Because he can. Yeah, it doesn't matter for him. Rest this now, huh? Interesting. Okay. Manifest Stations of Mirror Guy, pushing that, sure. Do we want to sync our twin drive here? Maybe not. I kind of feel like we should have blocked. We should just take it, I think, actually. Sorry. I think we should take it, just in case he has a 2-cost attack. We could block with 1 card pretty easily. Alright, yeah. If it is CNC, we can go ahead and do it there. So he makes a spectral and astral etchings. Dude, sure. So I'll take that much instead. Very cool. And I'll swing for 1. He does a swing for 1. Interesting. Okay. So we're gonna handle that. So we gotta try to kill this mirror guy here with the 7 counters. Jesus. Okay, that was pretty easy. I can't even max V. I guess it doesn't matter if I do. Can I have a big enough turn next turn to kill him? Do that. Then we'll do this. What should I forgot? I missed 1 damage as well. I forgot to flash it in without cranking. Vengeance, 2-cost attack, baby. Nope, he's just swinging with Waning Vengeance. So I'll block 1. He has astral etchings again. I'll take a bunch. That should be okay. I can't even do this, can I? Because then I can't. I guess I have to, though, to be able to push through, I think. I don't get to max V, but it's not the end of the world, I don't think. Like, I can save max V for next turn as well. And just try to push damage this turn. I don't think... It's really tough, I think. We could also not crank. I think is also the possibility, just not crank. Because our extra action point doesn't really matter. I think we just play it out like this. No crank, and then boost. Because we can go ahead and just use the extra action point. We don't use the extra action point if we can't max it anyway. Because the thought process, if you want the extra action point, is actually to Hanabi Blaster, clear out any ward, and then go ahead and do anything after. So he did shuffle his deck after the Transcend. I think he played Stir the Pot, so this Waning Vengeance is going to cover up both and make 2 Spectral Shields again. Sure. It's really important that we don't play 2 cards with the same name. So he lets it hit. Which is fine by me. On the loop. So he shows 3 cards. He has 3 cards that don't block. Okay, that's pretty good for us. here. We do have the boots next turn as well. Just gonna pass here. We do have the boots next turn, so if we end up passing, it's not bad. Because we can use the Hanabi Blaster to clear and then max V if we find a Boom Grenade at the top. So I think it's better to save Hanabi Blaster. There are scenarios where it might be a bit more advantageous to swing there. Okay. Restless. The situation where it's advantageous is if you'd rather... Oh, he's going to 10k. If you find the boost card, or if you find the... Oh god, this is going to be a lot of damage. So we're going to do this. If you are able to get the Cerebellum Processor off, and the extra action point can be used to draw the card rather than use an Hanabi Blaster, then it's going to be a little bit better to shoot. But I think with 2 counters here, you definitely don't want to shoot. Tunic. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Okay. He's going to swing the Spectral Shield, sure. Does have a lot of ward here. Is backup protocol red something we care about right now? There's one left. Yeah, I don't think backup protocol red there. Just the extra action point. We would basically just be using it for the extra action point. I'd rather find something that is a little bit more substantial. Maybe it's good though, just to get the extra action point. Enigma, sure. So this is going to be a good time to use this. So that way we can use it next turn as well. Shoot with this, clear some spectrals out, and then once we shoot with this, we can go ahead and max V. After we've cleared out all the spectra, or all the ward here. So it should kill everything. Yeah, it should ward 5 here. So maybe, this is definitely a greedier play to try to find... What the hell? Okay. So he's already... It's going to be pretty good for us because we know that he doesn't have a play going into next turn. Oh, what the fuck? Pass priority. Whoops, my bad. What did he banish? I passed too fast. I thought he was just passing priority on the card resolving. My 0 to 60. It's already Enigma, so he's gonna take it here. He arsenal the chi. I think he arsenal the chi. Good games. Dash Arrow still good. No high octane, still good. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the theory behind the deck is pretty much there. Like, if you're just allowed to do whatever you want. Like, Enigma never really hit me with any on hits. I did have to block from time to time just to value block, but no on hits, like no pummel, not really anything to kind of go crazy with. So if Dasho is just left with enough free time to kind of get there, she'll get there. So pretty good deck still. I think she's still relatively near the top of the meta. I don't think she's crazy like OP, like must play like before during the Worlds meta. But I think she definitely still has a good place, and she still needs to get respected. A lot more people are signing up like all the D reacts though, so obviously she gets a lot worse when all the heroes are playing 4 blocks. But there are ways to kind of manipulate the deck to kind of be a little bit better at that. My deck leans really low to the ground, so it's definitely trying to find and beat those aggro mirrors. But you can definitely play more 4 attacks, 5 attacks, and try to get value and eke out value that way. So thank you for tuning in today, guys. That's going to be it for today's stream. As always, super fun to hang out with you guys, and glad to share some stories from Portland. Next event I'll be at is probably going to be at the Double Calling in Memphis. So no Chicago, unfortunately. Although I do love me some Living Legend and Icelander, I do not. I don't think I can make it to that one. But see you guys in the next one. We'll be streaming here soon again. I know Skirmish is coming up, so we might debut some fun decks to play for your Skirmish season. But stay tuned for those. Anyways, have a great day. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next one. See you.